Paris Couture Fashion Week is the ultimate bling fest where designers get to let loose with styling and sometimes scary creations. Crazy chics Bronwyn Williams joins me now with how to create our own couture magic, which we will get to in just a tick or two. But first, can you just give me a little bit of definition on what haute couture is?
Couture is the absolute height of fashion and sort of in the fashion world. It's a very, very special twice-yearly show that happens generally in Paris, although there have been shows. In order to be called couture, it's a made-to-order kind of concept. In order to be called couture, you have to. There's a governing body in Paris that there are strict categories that these designers have to fall into.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it has to be ridiculously expensive.
It has to be very, very, very. So these are very precious. Everything is handmade. It is absolutely the best of the best in terms of fabric.
But it's not. Surely it's not. I mean, you wouldn't wear that. Sort of out. Would you wear this stuff?
There are probably a handful of all of 100 women in the world that can actually A, afford to buy this gear, and B, want to wear it. It is the most expensive fashion in the world.
Like what? Give me some. Do you have an idea of what a dress might cost?
Dresses haute couture dresses can cost anywhere between $10,000 up to hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Wow. Okay, so these are obviously very different to the catwalks that we see, the normal kind of
very
London
different. The things we see in the catwalks, you know, the ready-to-wear catwalks, they are expensive, they are high-end, but this is incredibly different. This is a whole other world.
Are they influenced by this sort of stuff, though?
Very much so. So the whole reason for haute couture to exist is that it's a sort of it's the chance for a fashion designer to really put their most creative work, the absolute most concentrated version of their inspirations into the catwalk.
So they would have their normal gear,
their
normal stuff that they would show at London and New York and what have you, but they would also do this. So who are some of the designers?
Giambattista Valli, Chanel, obviously, who we saw before. Elie Saab does haute couture. So what these guys do is they create. There's a New Zealander, Holly Rose, right there on the screen, which is quite neat. She's 17. Just a bit of info.
The model you're talking about? Ah, cool.
But these trends filter down. So in the ready-to-wear collections, you might see a silver metallic trend in the ready-to-wear. So it really is a filter effect.
Right, okay. And how much time would go into creating one outfit?
Oh, thousands, sometimes tens of thousands of hours. And they're made hand-beaded by artisans. Everything is created by hand, absolutely meticulously. It's quite incredible.
I guess to get a front row seat at one of those shows, you would have to be someone a little special.
Absolutely.
I'm thinking, OK, so let's bring this a little closer to home. You've brought some things in. This is a way that we can get a little bit of couture into our
There is. I mean, not in the sense that, you know, that it's made by an haute couture house, but the joy of haute couture is that it's got soul. And what I mean by soul is that things are lovingly handcrafted. Things are made by artisans. Things are made... you know, by people who have put time and effort into something rather than pumping out into the factory and selling it in $29.95.
Yeah.
And saying that, you can get this kind of haute couture or handmade feel with things that are very affordable, which is what we've got today.
OK, let's talk straight. Where do you want to start?
Well, let's start with cheap and cheerful. I mean, one of the best places to pick up handcrafted artisan pieces is actually at Trade Aid.
Yeah.
And
who would have thought?
Some of the most incredible jewellery is there. It's just so gorgeous. This is a really gorgeous little headband. It actually ties in really, really well into the current trend for lots of bright and kind of crafty. Now, if you look closely, those are actually worry dolls. Every single doll is handmade out of paper, dipped in sand, bound and put little faces on, and then stuck onto this cloth headband.
Do you know what?
Is so special.
School holidays next week. You could literally do your own take on that.
You really could. You really could. But what's so cool about this is you wear it, and it's an on-trend piece. It costs $15. It's made, you know, it's a Trade Aid made by families in India, and they get a really good, decent wage for it. Yet it is just incredible, you know?
Wow.
It's got soul.
That is very cool. The handbag.
This handbag is very, very cool. So this is actually an iPad purse, but I just wanted to show you this because this is a New Zealand brand called Mooi, M-O-O-I.
Yeah.
They've got a website, mooi.co.nz. And what's so special about this is another fair trade piece. You'll find a lot of really good handmade pieces are fair trade. And it's created from... The leather here is actually a byproduct of the South African meat industry. And what they've done is they've poured little drops of acid onto the hair to dissolve the hair, and then they've gone in with a metallic foam and they've dotted it on. So what you get is this really interesting effect, and what's really cool is every single bag is different.
Oh, that's so
Isn't
brilliant.
that neat?
I love it.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And what would you pay for that?
This is, I believe this is about $70. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Little red rose.
This little red rose, see, now, in terms of being actually made in New Zealand and produced in New Zealand, this is really, really cool. These are Tamsin Cooper's pieces, and you probably know Tamsin Cooper. She makes these gorgeous pieces in velvet.
We had her on the show
very,
last
very
year.
precious. Now, what's so gorgeous about these is everything is hand done. So, as you can see, this tiny little rose, it's a brooch.
Oh, wow, it's beautiful.
So you can wear it. But it's made out of silk and hand-bound velvet.
Put it in your hair as well.
You could put it in your hair as well, which is very, very special. And this is about $25, and they're very, very cool. And it's a really nice way to add a bit of handmade detailing into your garment. Yeah.
Okay, lovely. And that's one of hers as well.
And
It's
this
a
is
scarf.
another one of hers as well.
Is this all hand done?
This is a limited edition scarf that actually Tamsin produced for the Royal New Zealand Ballet, she just told me. And if you look closely again, everything is hand beaded. It's totally exquisite.
Just quickly, the shoes.
Oh, these shoes. Now, these are a little bit more expensive. These are sort of in the... You pay a little bit more for these, but these are something that they're actually coming from my personal collection. They're Dries van Noten, who's a top Belgian runway designer. And I just wanted to show you these as a really good example of something that is incredibly made with like love and soul. Again, if you look at these, they are a pair of gorgeous high heels, and they've got a fun metallic sole. But if you look, everything is hand beaded.
Can't imagine what you paid. We don't want to know.
I'm not going to tell you, but I've never worn them. They're in my collection.
Really? Never worn?
They're for looking at.
Oh, who has shoes just for looking at?
Well,
Bronwyn does.
Haute Couture. There you go.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much for coming in.
You're very welcome.
Eye-opening that was. Wonderful. See our website for more details of Bronwyn's style tips, plus a wee link to her crazy chic site, which is very cool indeed. Still to come, we've got another recipe from MasterChef Aaron Brunet, and the clowns of Slava's Snow Show are here to dazzle and delight.